So we're here today for the Moment of Kindness Week. Our session is on self-compassion. I just want to say thank you to everybody who has attended the other sessions during the week. Apologies for anybody who tried to log in yesterday. We did have some technical issues. It didn't go quite to plan apparently, but hopefully today things will run a bit smoother. So I will hand over to Hannah in a moment, and the plan is to share some information, run a little practice, and at the end we will open it up for some comments, but by the time we get there we will stop the recording, so the comments and the discussion we have will be private between us, but I'll let you know when that happens. But for now I'll hand over to Hannah. Thank you.
So if we go on to the first slide, thanks. Yeah, so I thought we'd start off by looking at a little bit at the science behind self-compassion, because this can help us to understand why it can be quite difficult to practice self-compassion. So I guess, as this diagram shows, in our brain we have we have about 3 major emotion regulation systems. So we have the threat focus system, and then, which is at the bottom. We have the drive system at the top left, and then we have a soothing system as well. And these systems can work together and help each other out and be in balance. But at times, depending on the experiences that we have, these systems can become imbalanced, and we find ourselves responding in a sort of default mode. So, for example, if we are exposed to a lot of threats in our daily lives, this can activate our threat system, it's a really protective mechanism. It can be a helpful survival response. But I guess if this system becomes our default, even in less threatening situations, we might find ourselves becoming more angry or anxious on a regular basis. And this is a completely natural part of being human, and we're kind of drawn towards the threats within our environment, and we look for danger to protect ourselves. But if this does become our default, it can take us away from the person that we want to be. And similarly, if we're always in our drive system, we can get caught up in striving for things and wanting more and more and never feeling really satisfied. But luckily, we also have this soothing system as well, which restores this balance and helps us to feel peaceful and calm. And we can get this soothing from other people. We can get it from affection and kindness of other people, but sometimes that's not always available. And with that in mind, it can be helpful for us to find ways to be able to soothe ourselves when we can't get that from other people. And in difficult and challenging times, the ability to self-soothe can help us to feel calmer and safer. But it isn't always that easy to do. So Moya, if you could go to the next slide, please. So when we're going through a tough time, or we do something that didn't go to plan, or we feel disappointed in ourselves, or we regret something, we can be quite quick to criticise ourselves and be unkind to ourselves as well. Again, this is a completely natural response, and to some extent, it's actually serving a purpose for us, because it helps us to get on with things or motivates us to do certain things. But what if there was a better way of doing this? What if we could actually forgive ourselves or accept our perceived flaws and show ourselves some kindness or self-compassion? And I guess the research and evidence out there suggests that self-compassion can actually help us cope better with stress and anxiety, and bounce back from perceived failures or setbacks, and handle emotional and physical pain more effectively. And it can be difficult to practice. It's not as straightforward as just being nice to yourself, but with the right techniques, it can get easier. So we'll look at some of those now. So here are some steps to self-compassion. I'll just go over some of these really quickly so we can actually practice one of those today. So one of those is to treat yourself as you would a friend in a kind way. Another one is to become aware of your own self-talk and how you talk to yourself. So notice when you're being critical to yourself, maybe you're having a thought that I'm such a horrible person for getting upset. Try instead turning that around or rephrasing it to feel, actually, it's okay that I feel upset. And again, validating the fact that pain is part of being human. It's not a sign of weakness. These thoughts and feelings are signs that we are human and that we care. And then the last one that I've put there is to hold yourself kindly and to talk to yourself in a kinder way, to give yourself support and understanding, similarly as you would with a friend. So we're going to invite you to take part in a kind hand exercise. But please do know that this isn't for everyone. It's not everyone's cup of tea. So please feel free to not to take part or to just listen to what I say. But yeah, I'd really like to welcome you to take part if you'd like to, and we'll go through that now. So I'd like to invite you to find a comfortable position where you are in your chair or standing if you are standing, and to feel alert in this position as well as comfortable. So if you're seated in a chair, you might want to lean slightly forward or straighten your back and drop your shoulders, just roll them backwards a little bit and press your feet gently onto the floor. Now I'd like you to bring to mind a problem or a thought that you might be struggling with at the moment, and take a few minutes to reflect on what this is, what this issue might be. Remember what has happened and consider how it's making you feel, how it's affecting you. And as you do this, notice what difficult thoughts and feelings arise. Tap into that curiosity, that sense of curiosity, and notice where where you feel this pain in your body. Where is it sitting for you? It might be on your shoulders, or it might be on your chest or in your tummy. Just notice it as if you're a curious child discovering something totally new and fascinating. So where exactly does that sit for you? And what does that feel like? Now I'd like you to take one of your hands and turn your palm facing upwards, and take a moment to look at your hand and really think about a time when you might have used this hand in a kind way. So perhaps you've held the hand of a loved one when they're going through something tough. You might have rubbed someone's back to comfort them, or given them a supportive hug. Or maybe you've used this hand to help out a friend or a colleague with some difficult task. So whilst you look at your hand, see if you can fill this hand right now with that same sense of caring and support and kindness that you showed to someone else. And imagine it filling up with warm, kind energy. Now I'd like to ask you to place this hand slowly and gently on your shoulder, just like this. And rest your hand there, lightly and gently. Feel it against your skin or against your clothes, and feel the warmth flowing from your palm into your body and spreading in all different directions throughout your body, up and down. And let that warm, kind energy spread through, and imagine your body softening around this discomfort that you feel, loosening up and making space for that discomfort. Just hold your pain or your discomfort gently and fill this action with caring and warmth, as if you're reaching out to someone you care about. Let the kindness flow from your fingers into your body. And now I'd like to ask you to add your other hand, if you can, and use both of your hands in this gesture. So maybe place the other hand on the other shoulder, or maybe on your arms like this. And let them just gently rest there, and hold yourself kindly. And as you rest in this space of warmth and kindness, take a moment to consider that this pain or this discomfort and this stress is part of being human. It's not a sign that something's wrong with you. It's a sign that you're a living, caring human being. And this is what living and caring humans feel like when life is difficult. We hurt, we feel it in our bodies. And this is something that you have in common with every human on the planet. It's part of who you are. It's part of being human and having a heart. So I'd like you to just take a moment now just to sit here, connecting with yourself and how this feels, and noticing this comfort and support that you've put on yourself. And you can continue to sit like this for a few moments if you'd like, or as little time as you'd like as well, if it's not comfortable for you. But just try to notice that kindness that you're giving yourself in this moment, and notice how that kindness really matters. It's not how long you do it for. It can be really short as well. And I'd like to thank you for taking part in this today. Thank you. So we've added some resources here that you might find helpful if you'd like to practice more techniques for self-compassion. And if you liked that one, there's other ones similar to that we can share with you as well. But thank you so much for joining today. Moya, over to you.
Thanks, Hannah. That's really lovely. So guys, if you wanted to take a screenshot of the screen we've got open at the moment, or Comms is going to share the slide deck as well with the contact details. So it's got the Wellbeing Services at KGH and NGH. If you would like to talk some more, please do get in touch with us. So before we sort of close the session, let me just close this window. I just want to thank you all again for everyone who's joined today and for the rest of the week. I think it's been a really positive thing and a lovely little snapshot of kindness for people throughout the week. So thank you for that.